Today we will give a brief introduction to the overall structure of the 2515 machine, the switch position and the name of the whole machine. Let's turn off the machine first. This is our whole machine, and then there will be a few switches here. The first thing you see is the start switch, stop switch, suction switch, and suction to switch. So what do these mean? Starting, as the name suggests, is to start the device, and stopping is to turn off the device. Suction is to open the node 1 suction and node 2 suction. These switches are jog switches. For example, turn off a little UV printer directly. After shutting down, the start interval is about 15 seconds. Cannot be turned on immediately. After waiting for 15 seconds, you can click the start button. As our lens zooms out, there will be 2 red e-stop switches on either side of our UV printer. There's one here, and there's one here. This emergency stop switch is directly connected to the driver power supply in the manufacturing process of UV printers. This drive power supply is 2 Y-axis power supplies and 1 X-axis power supply. Then in front of the UV printer, the whole face, this sheet metal shell is the front cover of the UV printer. The lower part belongs to the lower part, so if you go up, the entire surface of the UV printer, starting from this position to the right, has a total length of 2.55 meters, and the width from this side to the back of the width is a total length of 1.33 meters. This is our UV printer platform. So where is the inkjet trolley? This whole piece together is called the inkjet trolley. From this side to this back, to the whole range of this movement, this surface is to represent the range of the trolley. We will have some switches on the scope of the trolley. There are 123,456. These switches are marked with numbers. This is a 2-stage cartridge switch, which is called a 2-stage cartridge switch, respectively. There are CM YKWV. Then if there is more ink, for example, there are 6 colors, there are 8 colors, then and so on will make more an increase on it. Here is a bright light type logo on both sides of the inkjet trolley. These 2 are what is our UVled curing lamp and anti-collision switch device. A structure of the UV lamp is generally located in the middle of the 2 sides of the UV printer inkjet trolley. That is, the strong light of the UVled lamp icon should not look directly at this position. Then on this side there is a bumper, and this bumper will have one on the left and right sides, and there will be a group on this side. You can see that there is also a bumper here. The whole structure, its role is the first to cure the ink of our UV lamp and prevent impact. We must know that this thing is called an anti-collision device. It is not scratch resistant. What is the way the car moves in the car? Move left and right. One of the problems we just talked about, the red movement switch belongs to the X-axis and Y-axis power off switches, so we can press it down, and at this time, the inkjet trolley is automatically unlocked and can move left and right. And the left and right movement represents the X-axis. The girder on the structure of this inkjet trolley is called the UV printer beam. There are a variety of things in the middle: high noise guide rails, metal gratings, sliders, and this part in the middle is called the stator, and the black one. This stator is a strong magnet, and in general, some magnetic or ferrous products cannot be placed on it. Otherwise, it will suck on it and it will be difficult to take it off. Above this rail is a magnetic grating or a metal grating, and the product accessories installed are different according to different UV printers. The girder on the top of the entire inkjet trolley is called the Y direction. The movement mode of the UV printer is to step backwards, and this direction is called the Y direction. The inkjet trolley XY already exists, and the Z must also have it. And this inkjet trolley depends on both the X-axis and the Z-axis. This axis can go up and down, so where is its total traveled? It is under the position of our UV printer beam. how much is the total distance from this surface to this surface, which means how much my z-axis movement range, assuming that we are from this surface, from the platform surface to my bottom surface, the total of 8 centimeters. Then its range is 8 centimeters. Then heightening also means raising the entire beam, and you can also lower the platform, which is a form of our heightening. Then there is the inkjet trolley. The whole inkjet trolley moves left and right at the same time. At the bottom of this disc, this is called the waste ink plate. That is our waste ink. It will flow to this plate through our nozzle. This is a standby screen of waste ink. There will be 2 keys here, which are color ink pressing and white ink pressing. Then if there are other colors, increase in this way. In the absence of other colors, there are 2 ink pressing buttons. There will be one more below this, and this is the waste ink basin. A waste ink basin in the standby basin. This waste ink basin can be pushed out or pulled out. In the standby state of the machine, it must be pulled out. Under this waste ink basin there will be a waste ink discharge, a waste ink interface for waste ink discharge, and there is a valve here. This valve can open and close it, and open it and the waste ink will drain away. Then there are 2 ways for the UV printer. The first is to connect the root pipe and discharge it directly, and the second is to catch it directly with an empty mineral water bottle, and then pour it out when it is full. Don't throw it away. There will be a standby screen here, which can be used as a standby screen for moisturizing. Then there will be some line switches on the line of the x-axis and y-axis of the device, and this black switch is the end limit of the x-axis, and the end of the x-axis. Then the UV printer must have an endpoint and an origin. On the far left side of the x-axis, we move this UV printer inkjet trolley out of the way, and we will find that there will be an origin switch here, which is an origin switch. This is the stator, and there will be a line here, which is this big, about this wide. And this is called the mover. The UV printer is called a linear motor, so it will have a mover and an electric stator. It's on this line. Just now we said that this one is a magnetic grid bar. It must also have a decoder. This is a magnetic grid reader decoder, with the x-axis. Then there will also be a y-axis. Now let's explain the bottom part. What does this location belong to? Large cartridge position belonging to UV printers. You can see that there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here, and there is a switch here. These red alarm lights belong to the ink alarm light. When the UV printer is short of ink, it will be drip alarm, and then there will be a switch here. When the UV printer has been alarming, you can turn the switch on or off. There is a door panel. Open the door panel. You will find that here is the large ink cartridge of the UV printer. There is CMYKLCLMWV. This configuration belongs to the 8-color configuration. It has a total of 8 colors, and at the same time the large ink cartridge. This switch we can open. It is here, this door panel. You can pull it out. It is convenient to add ink. You can also close it in. This is the large ink cartridge structure of the whole UV printer.